Over the last 15 years working with service members and their families, active duty or veterans, one thing that's been really interesting is learning how yoga and meditation techniques support self-regulation. We've all had experiences, whether it is in the military or almost a near car accident, where we find ourselves hyperly engaged in the sympathetic nervous system, our fight or flight. And it could be from driving through a school neighborhood, needing to be somewhere on time, or it could be from a near car accident. The idea is that we need to be able to regulate back down to a very peaceful homeostasis. This sequence that we're going to do now is for neck and spine and really helps discharge the intensity of an experience that we may still be holding on to unconsciously. So we'll start with the neck work. Go ahead and get a comfortable seat. You may want a blanket or something underneath your hips if your lower back is a little cranky. And we'll just start by inhaling that left arm up towards the ceiling. Really reach up nice and high. And as you exhale, we'll gently stretch over to the right. You may want to use your right hand across the torso to support the belly staying in and lifted, and really keep trying to lift through the heart. From here, you may notice that your neck, or see how I'm wearing my shoulder like an earring right now, you may want to drop that shoulder blade and then let that ear fall. We'll start to release that left arm out, palm comes up towards the ceiling, and really see if you can hold a pizza. Really press that palm away and drop the head. If it feels delicious here, you may even want to go a little further and look down and gently look up. So we're just finding some space in all of these muscles. These little scalene muscles here hold a ton of tension. And so we're still dropping that shoulder blade and staying nice and deeply in the breath here, filling the rib cage, softening the jaw. You may even want to wiggle your lower jaw back and forth and reach that arm out nice and far. Good. If it's cranky in the shoulder joint, maybe bend the elbow a little. That'll take some tension out of the joint itself and maybe even find a longer line. So big inhale into the neck. And as you exhale, soften that shoulder a little bit more. And gently release the arm and slowly come back to center. You may feel this on the whole left erector spinae muscle of the spine. And we'll go to the other side. That right arm comes up, drill down for oil with your tailbone, lift up through the belly. And on your exhale, gently take it to the left. So the neck softens, maybe the right hand or left hand comes across and grabs that right thigh. And we start to look up, we look down, look up, and just notice, where do you feel this in the neck? Maybe it's in the spine, and again, we'll find that shoulder blade dropping, making space. You may have noticed already that whenever you make space in your body, it brings comfort. So space is really comfort. We want to try to find that. We're going to open that arm all the way out, and again, that palm goes up. Remember, if the shoulder's cranky, bend the elbow a little bit. It takes some of the tension out of the joint. And keep breathing. Maybe breathe as deeply as you can into the right side of your rib cage. And as you exhale, soften the jaw, the hinges of the jaw. Maybe you clench your teeth. Maybe that's a habit pattern to notice when you find yourself in tension. And really reach out through that arm. One more big inhale here. And as the exhale happens, we can slowly pull ourselves back up and find center. Good. And from here, we'll take a gentle twist. So before you go anywhere, if you have any issues in the neck, please keep your chin in line with your throat. That way you're not jacking out the neck joint. And ultimately what happens is we have a tendency to make the twist happen with the neck and not with the actual spine. So do a little wiggle, find your sit bones, really root down into the sit bones, and then lift up through the groin, lift up through the belly and the chest. Take a big inhale here. And that right arm comes across towards the left thigh, or maybe even to the knee. The left hand can go behind you to support, but keep spinning. We're going to think about taking those right lower ribs and spin them around the axis of the spine. Huge inhale here. And as you exhale, maybe we spin a little more. If the neck says, yep, we're good, slowly change the gaze over that left shoulder. But again, if it doesn't feel great, come back. Stay where it feels most delicious, because when we push further than it feels good, we end up really jacking back into our sympathetic nervous system. And as we find more practices to create a greater sense of ease in our experience, the body will really begin to crave that. Let's inhale and slowly come back to center. I like to take a little flow here of cat-cow just to make the space back in the spine. So inhale, lift up through the belly. Exhale, maybe grab the knees, pull the belly in, round forward. And do that 2 more times with the flow of your breath, not mine, but yours. It's always important in your yoga practice to always allow your breath to be your guide. The teacher is the external guide, but your breath is the internal wisdom that we move from. So always listen to your own breath. And we'll inhale, come back to center. From here, we'll find the other side of our twist. We'll take that left arm across, right arm behind, and again, do the little wiggle. Make sure the sit bones are rooted, and then draw up through the groin, the belly, and the chest. Chin can stay in line with the throat till you notice where the neck feels good. Inhale. And then exhale again, and these left lower ribs are going to spin around the axis of the spine. Big inhales through the rib cage. See if you can expand your lungs a little more. Soften the jaw, soften the muscles of the eyes, and if it feels delicious, look over that right shoulder. Big inhale here. And exhale, stay. And on the inhale, we'll gently unravel back to center. We'll take 3 more inhales and exhales in cat-cow to keep the spine nice and soft and supple. And also begin to let all the muscles that normally grip in tension to begin to soften. Good. And so when we're here, we're going to now find our way towards our back to cultivate a twist on the floor, which may be more supportive for you if you have any lower back issues. So go ahead and you can bring your feet parallel in front, gently lay back onto the back. If you'd like a blanket underneath your head, you can go ahead and tuck the blanket under. And from here, widen your feet a little bit. Palms can flip to the ceiling since the arms aren't really necessary in this moment. And just gently let the knees fall to the right. It may be helpful if you need any support, you could use a block to catch the knee if that's too much in the hip joint. But again, here we're resting. Allow the belly to soften, allow the whole spine to release, and just allow the breath to move through. Few more breaths here, really expand the rib cage. And keep noticing. You may notice my hands engaging. Try to soften. These are just little tension habits that our body has. And so by noticing them, we can begin to cultivate a greater sense of comfort and ease through the body and the mind. And we'll inhale, come back to center. Take your block, flip it to the other side, and we'll just let the knees fall to the left. And the same thing here, you may feel it differently on this side. Maybe the block needs to be higher for this side. And allow the legs to soften, the arms and the belly rest. A little bit more inhale through the rib cage to expand the chest. And as you exhale, soften all the places that maybe you don't notice. Maybe the muscles behind the eyes, maybe the throat. And when you inhale back to center here, you can take it a little bit further if you'd like. If you feel the need for a deeper twist, you can draw the knees to the chest and allow the arms to come out wide, palms up, and just let those knees fall to the side. When you're here, can you breathe even more into that back left lung? Can you really expand the space of the lung that's on the top? Legs rest. Notice if there's any tension in the hands or in the fingers. And to come out, we'll squeeze the belly in to support the back, squeeze the legs, slowly roll back to center. Align again if you need to, and we'll take the knees to the opposite side. And so again, can that whole upper leg rest deeply so that this is really a passive twist. We know how to really work the pose, but maybe we need a little bit more time in the resting element or the passive element of the posture. Big breath into the back of the lungs. And as you exhale, just let everything soften. Jaw, legs, hips, and glutes. To come out, we'll engage the belly, squeeze the legs together, roll back onto the back, and find our way back to constructive rest. So the feet are hips width apart, arms can rest out, palms face the ceiling. And if you can, take 5 to 6 breaths here and just rest.